Hey, everybody. Welcome to Entrepreneur
Badass
Podcast, your source for taking charge of your life and business like a boss.
I'm Cory, your go-to real estate and business attorney, also running a couple of side hustles in real estate and travel.
And I'm Chelsea, a tax boss, content creator, and restaurateur. We've both built million-dollar businesses, and we're here to share what we've learned along the way.
That's right. We're all about helping you grow, not just your business, but yourself too, and doing it your way, because being an entrepreneur is all about being a true badass.
So buckle up, grab your spirit of the week, and let's dive into building your businesses like the unstoppable force that you are. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Cory.
And welcome to Entrepreneur
Badass.
Cory, tell them about the Entrepreneur Hustler Spirit of the Week.
Well, this week we are back with an amazing Zinfandel from Pure Noir. They are a boss couple. I love to see couples getting together and leveraging this wine business. I know he's an amazing construction law attorney, and they have not just a winery. Not only can you order the Zinfandel for yourself, you can stop by their tasting room and have a good time, a date night, an amazing visit, and of course, some good wine.
Yes, I love going to their place.
So tell me about the name of this wine, because I think as an entrepreneur, we need it in our lives.
This is called State of Zen. State of Zen. We all need to be in a state of Zen, because trying to run a business, you need to have some sort of level of
balance. Of peace.
Something.
And if the wine gives you peace, we not mad. It gives me peace a lot of times.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers. So this week, you've heard, if you've watched our previous episodes, you know a little bit about us, but you're probably saying, well, I want more. I have a specific question. So today we're going to play a little game of 21 questions just to give you a brief snapshot into our mind as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, as moms, and all the many hats that we wear. We want to make sure you have a tiny little peek into exactly what we're thinking and what motivates us.
So one of my biggest questions that I get all the time, Cory, is, would you hire a family member?
Oh my gosh, I grew up working with family members, right? Like all of my businesses, my grandfather was an ophthalmologist. My mom worked with him. My first job as a real estate broker was with my aunt. She was my broker, a real estate agent. My aunt was my broker. So I would definitely work with family if you can draw some boundaries and they can respect the boundaries, and vice versa, right?
That is important.
So knowing when to say, I'm turning it off. I got my boss hat on right now, or my attorney hat on, and I'm going to take that hat off, and then we can still kick it and have fun, and nobody's mad. I'm going to make business decisions.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can't be mad at that. But at the end of that business decision, we're still family. There's still love. But, if I have to fire you, firing's going.
It's business.
It is business. So if they can respect that boundary and understand it and don't get their feelings wrapped into it, then, work with them if you think they bring value.
Yeah.
But if not, kick rocks. What about
you? I've had a little bit of mixed emotions with that. Like, I've hired some of my family members, and they've, done well. And then I've hired others that have not. So for me, at first, when I started, I was like, I ain't hiring no family members, because it is hard to set boundaries with your family members, because you naturally want to be a little more lenient. You naturally want to see them do well. But you have some people that they're not business owners for a reason.
Yeah.
They don't understand the things that we have to go through on a day-to-day basis, and we have to make healthy decisions for the business always, because nobody gonna sink this shit.
Or how is that fair that me not governing you makes the business fall down? Other staff see that. They think that either you're getting preferential treatment or you are setting the way.
Exactly.
And the way the bullshit you bring is spreading throughout the company.
It's poisoning the staff.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Like, they're like, oh, well, you let this person do it. And then what can I say? Oh, that's my cousin. No, that's not a thing, So I really do feel like it's really a case-by-case situation with family members. I try to stay away.
Yeah.
But I do understand that there are certain exceptions to that,
Yeah, I definitely think, case by case is a good way to view it, but don't put your head in the sand about who your family member is. If they've been fired from 5 jobs recently and they always are late in this and that and things you don't want in your business, do not think just because you give them an opportunity, they're going to change who they are in their ways and go from bad to good because it's you and because it's family and because it's your business. Yeah. So if you see who they are, then that's where you start refining, like, I'm not going to make the extension because what I'm trying to do and what you're trying to do are not the same things.
Yeah. So what do you think is a good characteristic or some good characteristics of a business owner?
I think you have to be flexible, right? And you have to be willing to say, okay, that's not going to work. Let me try again. Like, if you get stuck in being discouraged, if you get stuck that I have a plan and anything but this plan is not going to work, like, business owners have to have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I could sing the whole alphabet to you because that's how many plans you need, right?
Real, yeah.
You have to be able to, like, switch it up with a moment's notice sometimes and not get in your feelings that your first plan didn't work. Like, okay, too bad, so sad, cry on your pillow at night. Keep it moving.
Right. Yeah,
What
I
about
agree. You do have to naturally be a problem solver.
Yeah.
Because there are always things that you're going to have to fix or figure out or move past. I had this conversation today with one of my good friends. You know, in our heads, we feel like, okay, this should work. You know, I'm going to do this and X, Y, and Z should follow. And then you're like, ugh, nothing followed.
Yeah.
Or that didn't go the way I planned. But if you're sitting there dwelling on it and upset about it versus trying to figure out the next step moving forward, you're going to get stuck in this place and nothing's going to happen, you know? I was told when I first started my restaurant to wake up every single day anticipating that the building is going to catch on fire.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you had a good day.
Yeah. Fell for it. But I think part of that, when we talk about, you know, being able to just be flexible, it's just being able to be humble too. Like, I tell people, anything I've done, if I hire you to do something, I've done it. Right. So if I ask you to do it a certain way, it's not me trying to rule over you or anything like that. Like, I've done it all. And to this day, if everybody walked out of my firm, I would still be there picking up the phone calls, responding to emails, you know, like, I'm not there. I don't carry any pride. My pride is the service I give. Yeah. My pride is that I'm able to provide for my staff and service my clients. But my pride is not in myself, like, oh, I'm too good to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. So since you know everything, who do you take advice from?
You know, I really, I've been so blessed to put intention around building a adult space for respect and, like, people to look up to that are friends, right? And I feel like sometimes you grow up with people and you respect them, you love them, you admire them, but they may not be where you want to be professionally, right? They may not be your professional goals. And we all have different careers, so that's natural. But I've really tried to find people where I'm like, wow, you're brilliant in that. Like, I just like that you are growing something and doing your own thing, and I put energy into connecting with those people. So sometimes you meet people, but if you don't put any energy into saying, well, give me your number, I'm gonna call you, or let's do dinner, or, you know, let's take this conversation further than just an introduction, you don't cultivate a relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I really do try when I meet somebody and I'll be like, you know what, I like your vibe. Or I had a friend, a huge hero of mine, Ija, and she was like, oh, I'm retired. I said, girl, we have to meet. I'm taking you to dinner because that sounds so good. you have to retire. You have to, maybe just being around you will rub off on me because I'm trying to get that in my life. Right. I like I don't even know what you're doing, but I like the way it sounds, girl. Yes. So so those relationships can grow, organically and just naturally because you guys, you see something in each other, a spark in each other, and you want to see where it goes. And, and you don't want anything from anybody. It's not me trying to use her or say, give me your game book. It's just, I'm inspired by you and I want to be around things that inspire me.
I agree. I feel like whenever you're trying to reach new levels, you cannot be intimidated by the success of others. Mm-hmm. I love to surround myself by people, with people that are doing better than I am. Yeah. And also older than me as well. Because if I can look at you and see my future, if you're moving the way that I would want to move, at that point in my life, I find inspiration and I want to know how you got to this point. Yeah. So for me, I take advice from anyone that I see that's doing better than me.
Yeah.
If you have something to say, it'll listen. You know
what? And sometimes it's people who just they are in that period of loss.
Yeah.
And you see them, like, it may look like a failure from the outside, but the longer you're an entrepreneur, you know everybody fails.
That's right.
And so sometimes it's just seeing somebody who's at the bottom end of that. Maybe they went through a bankruptcy or their business failed, and that bounce back is incredible.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm taking everything
because
I learned.
I'm
motivated.
To make that mistake again.
No.
Once you lose it all, or you know, come down to a certain point, you will almost never get to that point again because you learn so many things in that process.
And you when you talk about like mentorship, you meet so many people, and if they are a true mentor and they tell you their real story, and they'll tell you like, I failed, I was bankrupt, I had no money, but I learned from that.
Yeah.
And it's been nothing but, you know, skylights since that time. So I learned a lot of people from all sorts of people, but when it comes to cultivated relationships, I go with people's vibe, and then I trust my vibe detector.
Yeah. So have you ever had to pivot, you know, in your business?
Yeah, I definitely have seen opportunities where I thought I was going to be doing one thing, and maybe I didn't like it, honestly. And you're not going to be good at something you don't like to do, right? So maybe sometimes you get into something you might be good at, but you don't like.
Yeah.
Or you don't like your clients, or you don't like the clients that are coming to you, and you want to choose a different set of clients, right? Which means a lot of times you'll have to stop what you're doing to elevate or to be in a whole different practice area. And so I'm always, I feel like, pivoting. When I was being a real estate investor, I went from Airbnbs. I was like, oop, hated it. And then I had like long-term tenants and oops, hated it. You know, I was always looking for what was the best fit for my time, for my energy, and stuff that I enjoyed. And I think if that trifecta isn't there, you need to be thinking about pivoting, even if I don't care how much the money's running in.
That's right. You got to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if not, it feels like a job. It feels like work.
And the worst kind of work, because you can't even fire yourself. Like, I want to be fired. I'm trying to get.
Never mind.
I want to call.
I don't like it.
Right. I'm trying to call Texas workforce and file unemployment claim against you, and then it'd be like, it's you.
I can't.
Oh man,
I'm stuck.
Boo.
But yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you're able to identify, like, I don't like this, but I know what to do.
Yeah.
Let me make some moves and get out of here, you know?
What about you? Have you changed? Because I know you started with a food truck. At least I know you started with food truck, and now you have like a physical location.
Yeah, so definitely had to pivot, because with food trucking, people ask me this question all the time.
We're going to have a whole nother episode. So make sure to comment if you want to know about a food truck story.
Yeah. Pivoting from a food truck to a brick and mortar was probably one of the best things I could have done. I tell people that it's two totally different business setups. With your food truck, you know, it's smaller, and it's a day-to-day operations. You have a lot of moving parts, things break. Not only are you know, having to maintain your kitchen, but you also have to maintain a vehicle. There would be times when I would have to, you know, go to festivals, and went to Restaurant Depot and loaded up, stocked up. I'm ready to go, everything prepped. Turn on the truck, it's like
it's a womp womp.
After I've paid vendor fees, food, I'm like, somebody pull this thing. We gonna get there regardless. Do you hear me? But for me, I got the brick and mortar because I was like, I need people to drive up to me. I'm tired of driving up to them, and the truck don't want to drive.
You want to be chased. You don't want to chase nobody.
Yeah. So to be able to understand, you know, just that, and pivoting in that space, brought a lot of insight. And then I had to also continue with the pivot, because food trucks are very informal. So I had to switch my name from the Ebonics that it was to something more crisp, clean, and straight to the point, so that when I start trying to get these contracts at universities and things of that sort, they know who I am, instead of trying to figure out what they say. Do you are like, we couldn't do that.
Yeah, you gotta evolve. You gotta keep evolving. As you level up, you're on a whole new plane. You gotta not, you know, be embarrassed to come back and be like, no, what was that, or what am I doing? I want to be a boss at this level.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you tell me? Okay, would you ever go back to school to learn more? Like, what do you think the value is in school?
That's funny because I absolutely believe in the power of pivoting, as we were just discussing. So for me, I would definitely go back to school. I would not go back for entrepreneurship or any type of um, business type of degree, but I would for sure go back for something that's more in the tech industry or some type of computer programming. I am a firm believer in you have to continue to learn.
You do.
As an entrepreneur, you're going to continue to learn every day anyway, because there's going to be new problems and new things that you have to face. However, going back and learning something new from the beginning is always very exciting for me. So I'm all for going to school, and I feel like I want to be like the super girl. I want to have the education. I want to have the money. I want to have the businesses. I want the brain, the beauty.
How these things sound so good.
Yeah, like how could the more things that I have, the more notches that I have, the better.
Yeah, you can have whatever you like.
Yeah. Cory, you went to school a while.
I did a lot of school. I do like degrees, and I like learning. And honestly, some of the things I went to school for, I went to school with the Art Institute for like interior design because I was investing in properties and wanting to be able to, put together beautiful formats as I did that. And then I just started going to school, like almost like an addiction. I was like, no more school. I would go back to school for business, even though I have an MBA. But this time I would have a whole different perspective. Like, yeah, the books are cool, and I would love to like have a different way to analyze ROI and all those fancy terms. But really, I'm going to there for the connections. Like, put me in the room, a room full of people who are going to be millionaires. I like this.
Yes.
I like this. I agree. So I like the connection part.
I tell my kids that all the time. Like, you guys are watching me be an entrepreneur, so like I didn't do the college investments for them. They have mutual funds because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to want to go to college. Maybe, but I'm encouraging them to do so. Not so much because I feel like they need a degree to be successful, but because of the network opportunities. I know so many amazing people that sent their kids to HBCUs or they went to, different places and they connected with other like-minded individuals. And now they're business owners selling, merch and different products to their peers in college.
No, I definitely know that FAMU for me it wasn't even about what I learned in school. It was about me having the space to grow and feel around people who saw me. Now I look back at my friend, who runs Black Bourbon Society, and she was the first person I met when I walked into FAM. And so now being able to be like, I can't believe it, girl. You're doing so well. But I knew it. And that's why I say I'm a good vibe detector because when we were poor, eating ramen noodles, walking down the street, trying to catch the bus in Tallahassee, there was something, there was a light. Yes. And it has continued to this day. Yeah. So it taught me a lot about myself. It grew me to the person I was, but it also connected me to so many people who are also growing into like beautiful beings themselves.
I love that. I do. I really love that. So what do you think right now at this moment is your biggest challenge in business?
My biggest challenge in business, you know what? I do have a real answer to this, and I'm trying to actively solve that answer. Sometimes when it comes to growing your business and leveling up, the problem is you.
Yeah.
Your business hasn't hit that next milestone, not because of this and that and this, that, because of you. Because whatever perspective you have, it doesn't fit anymore. Or whatever your plan for growth is, you're not working it enough. Yeah. And so I've really tried to step out of my business, step out of being in my business and working on my business. Meaning, what's the strategic plan? How can I put people in places and make processes that are repeatable? How can we really scale up? And if I am, as an attorney, if I'm being an attorney and trying to be a business owner, a law firm owner, those are 2 different jobs.
That is.
I can't be an attorney because then I have clients, I have to answer the phone, I have to be in court on certain days and try to scale this law firm up. So I really tried to get out of my own way, put down some processes, hire people when you need to hire people, not days late. Even if it's just a virtual assistant, test out that job.
Normalize hiring help.
Oh, hire people.
Yes.
You can't do it all just because the 24 hours in the day restrict you. And I don't want to. I'm not good at that. That's not I told a client the other day, he got mad at me, but I was like, you need to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And if you do this, you're telling me you want to triple your business in a year, I believe you can.
Yeah.
But if you're over here being an attorney, being an accountant, being this, being that, you don't have time to do your job because you're doing everybody else's job.
Exactly. I have actually mastered that. So at this point in time, my restaurant's going on 3 years operating. I have managers in place, my staff. I have an amazing back of the house. For people that don't know, back of the house is my kitchen, workers. Front of the house, which is everyone that you guys see interact with customers. Everybody is doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, I love it.
So for me, I'm able to go in maybe once a week and, just kind of oversee things. My biggest challenge right now is consistency. I feel like with the restaurant industry, how many times have you went to your local McDonald's and you was like, who back there in the kitchen?
It's gonna be nasty, is that?
Oh, is that John back there? I'll be back. Like, my thing is, I don't want anyone to be able to say, oh, who made the lemonade today? Even something as simple as that.
Yeah.
I want everything to be on point and consistent because I have a lot of regulars that come in.
Yeah.
So right now, my biggest challenge is to consistently make sure that everything is the same. I'm trying to work on franchises. Okay.
I like the sound of that. That's that $1 million. That's that multi-millionaire status, right?
I'm going to put franchise developer next to my name.
I love it. Well, that is it for today. Chelsea, why don't you tell them if they want to know more questions about us, how can they do it?
Just ask us. Comment below whatever questions you like, and we'll be glad to answer them.
So, as always, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you get into the movement that is Entrepreneur Badass. And make sure if you have something you want us to talk about, comment that below too. We're happy and we want to be engaged with you as a community. So get into it. We are into you guys and we look forward to seeing you next time.
And shout out to my friends over at Premium Floor for providing these amazing, beautiful flowers for us today.
Beautiful. So you already know if you want to set a vibe, imagine bringing this home to your mate, your spouse, your boo thing, or maybe somebody you're trying to pursue. This combo right here, Pure Noir and the flowers, mwah.
Chef's kiss.
See you next time, guys.
First, make sure.
Guarantee.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
Bye.